Hi, today I'm going to talk to you about another butane heater for the butane stove or propane stove. Now these are simple DIY heaters. Of course, you can make these at home for emergency heat. Now I'm going to go over um, the last heater I made. I used cans. I'm going to show you I have two cans. This is a chicken breast can from Walmart. You can see it's a little bit dirty. I do store and save these cans. I use these for a lot of things. Now here's a full can of chili. Now I'm not going to open this because, well, I just ate breakfast. So and it's, only 9 o'clock, not even 9 o'clock. But I want to show you something. If you do not have a drill or drill bit to make the last heater, and that's something you're wanting to do, what you need to do is have a knife. Now, the first thing you do is you take your can that you're going to use on top, set it on top, and then take a marker or something that you can mark around the can. Right? You want to have a mark to where that can's going to sit. The outside lip. Now, once you have your mark here, let's say the mark is right here, you will come inside that mark. And then you will take your knife, set it there and pound it down with a hammer or something else, and just go ahead and go all the way around and beat, more or less take the center piece out. What you're doing is you're using your knife to cut the metal with. Now once you have that cut out with your knife and hammer or something you hit your knife with, now I'm not going to take this out of its sheath because this knife is extremely sharp and I don't want to cut myself. For your small can, now I don't care if it is Chef Boyardee ravioli, I don't care if it's chili, I don't care if it's a vegetable can. In fact, it doesn't matter. Here's what you do if you do not have a drill and a drill bit. Yeah, mouse just ran by. Before you open this can, take your knife and just beat in one slash about that long. About half an inch. That's all you need to do. And of course you need to make it closer to where the top's going to be. Say about there. Of course you take the paper off first. Scrape as much glue off as you can where the wrapper is holding. Then you take your knife and beat it through the can. Now you do want where some of this heat can escape this can, and you can bring it down about halfway. That'd be fine. That way more heat can build up in here. So if you don't have a drill bit, or anything to drill your can out with, you could just use a knife and just beat it out with a hammer, because these cans are pretty thin. Now what's going to happen is the can's going to be dented. So before you put your hole in this can, take that can and put it over like that and push down, and it will bring this can lip back up. You want it to set as flush as possible. Now today I'm going to go over another simple DIY heater for you. Now this is an emergency heater, should only be used in emergency situations, and you can make this at home really easily. Now I have a container here. You do not need one this large. You can use a smaller container. Here's the trick: as long as it fits on these where your pot sits, and try to keep it away from here as much as possible. Remember, this is a gas cylinder. Now I will show you the heater in a minute, but how I did this is I took my foil, I took 2 pieces of foil, made it long enough to where I could go over this container. Now you can use something like a pickle jar, a pitcher, anything that you can make a shape with will work. But remember, it has to be large enough. Let me show you with this. To fit You see what I'm saying? Has to be large enough to fit on here. And you put your foil over like this. And in fact, I'm going to show you. Give me just a second. I have to set my phone down. I apologize. Okay, you can see I have a piece of foil. Now you're going to need two, because what you want to do is you want it to go all the way down, all the way around. And to do that, you put your foil on, and you really need both hands, and then you bring your hands and just push down like that, and it'll put the foil and make a shape. Now you can see here, the reason you need two is because this piece here is not going all the way down. But it will go all the way down here and here. Now let me set this phone down. I apologize again. Okay, you need something to look like this. Now, you will take another sheet of foil. Now remember what I did was I set the foil on here and I just used both hands and push down. And you can see the long parts of the foil are here, and it has empty space. You want all this space covered. That's why you need another sheet going this way. You do the same thing. Down, down, down. Then you take out whatever container you have and you fold everything inward. See how I'm doing that? In, like this. And that will help keep the foil together, and it'll make you somewhat a flat surface that you need to sit on the stove. It's not going to be perfect, but that's what you do. Once you are done with that, you take your container out. Now, I can't really do this because this container has glue on it. I don't know if you can see it, so the foil is going to stick, but right. It was hard for me to get that other one out. Right there is the glue. Okay. Alright, you can see kind of the shape. I had to bend it out to get this container out. You can see the glue here. It does stick. So preferably you have something without glue on it, such as a pickle jar or some type of jar. Now we're going to have a shape like this. Now remember, it's going to have all foil all the way around. These edges here are going to be curved and rolled inward. You want it rolled inward, not out. And any high places you're going to roll, so you get something that looks about like that, but you know, pretty much flat. And remember, this is going to be all the way around. I'll show you this one. This is two pieces of foil, as you can see. And there's where some of the foil actually did not go all the way over. That's why you use two pieces here too. Then you take any small pin, a safety pin, a thumbtack, anything you can punch holes in this with, and you go down about a ½ inch to an inch, and you put as many holes as you can all the way around. Now it doesn't matter if you go up and down. I don't know if you can see the holes on this one or not. Maybe you can. Maybe you can't. You can see if you can see the holes, they're not perfect. It doesn't matter. You can go up and down. It doesn't have to be perfect. And it will look something like this. Kind of like a funny Shriner's hat. This is your heater. That is too far over. I want that over here more. And remember, I want to keep it as far away from here as possible. Ooh. Looks like that gas built up on me. Now remember, you do not want this so high it burns the foil. And if it is burning the foil, you are too much flame. Now here is my minimum mark, and here is where the heater, it is just below minimum. I hope you can see that. Now I can already feel heat coming off this, and if this is not producing enough heat, yes, you can turn it up, but remember, this is nothing but aluminum foil. There's definitely a lot of heat coming off this, especially on the top. There would be. And you can see the holes here, I hope. Oh yeah, that is a great deal of heat. And that is barely on. Let's turn that up just a hair. And you can see the foil's getting hot there. And if that's the case, you can move it a little bit more because it's really far against the back. But if you touch this, make sure you use something like a pot holder, because there we go. Let's check the back, make sure the back's okay. The back looks all right. This is a huge amount of heat coming off this foil. Remember, this is another DIY emergency heater. These are not meant to be used every day. This is meant to be used in a severe situation, because this is going to be extremely hot. Just like the can heater, if you touch this, it will burn the holy hell out of you. Okay? So understand, this is an emergency heater only. You do not use this daily. I mean, I can feel the warmth. Oh, geez. I can feel it definitely right here without an issue. The closer I get, the hotter I get. I mean, right here, it's warm. It's putting out plenty of heat up top to the back. Oh, yeah, definitely here. Remember, this is an emergency heater. Now, this is still below the minimum mark on my stove. You can turn this up extremely high if you want it super hot. But remember, this is just aluminum foil. And look at what happens. I'm going to turn that all the way up. See how that's getting super red and flames are coming around? This is just foil. You do not want to leave it this high for that long. Oh, Jesus Christmas. That's putting out way too much heat for this foil. Because that's all the way up. I'm going to turn it back down. Just below minimum. And another thing is, you have to worry about fuel consumption. Alright, that is barely lit. I don't know if you can see that. That's barely gone. But there's still plenty of heat coming off of here. Remember, the higher the flame, the more heat it's going to produce, the faster you go through your fuel. Now this is warm, but it's not hot. You do not want this can getting super hot. Holy Christmas, that's warm. Once again, to make this type of heater, you just need something to shape your foil with. This is what I had our mixed butter up in, our powder butter. You can use pretty much anything that's large enough. Possibly such as maybe a coffee can. I would say that's a little bit too big to make this with, because once again, you want it kept away from that Something like a 2-liter bottle would be good to shape that with. If you shape it from like the bottom and just go over it, you know, cut the top off here and turn it over and shape it using the bottom. Now it's not going to be perfect, but you know what, you don't need it to be perfect. If you have a large pickle jar, a little bit bigger than this, then something like that. Anything you can use to shape your shape with. Yeah, it's down and it's still putting out a decent amount of heat. Now remember, this is nothing but foil. So do not kick this all the way up. In fact, I can turn that up a little bit. I'm going to turn that just about minimum. You can see the flame in there. This is a lot of heat. So if you want to make the can heater, once again, if you don't have a drill bit or a drill, you can just use a knife and a hammer and like punch through the can, and then take your can and put it over your other can and push, and that will help bend some of this back out that you dinked in. And before you open your next can, take your knife and just put a slash in it. And it doesn't matter if it's a vegetable can, fruit can, whatever, chili. Then you take your product out, you wash your cans out, and then you already have your 2 cans. And then one sets on the other, and there you go. This heater, this type, now you can see that foil is getting super hot. That means that flame is pretty much too high. But I mean, it will work this way. And it is putting out a great deal of heat. And once again, you want to try to save on as much fuel as possible. So I'm going to turn that down a little bit more. I'm trying to get it to where you can see that. Okay, it is warm. I have the other heater on over there. But that's nothing, literally, with me standing right here. This is just putting out that much heat. I'm literally starting to sweat standing here this close. This is an emergency heater, DIY. Do not use this every day unless you have to. Remember, this is heavy duty foil. Find something to make your shape with. Use both hands. Go down, down, down with both hands. Get it as close to the shape as possible. Then put another piece over. Both hands down, down, down. Take that out and then start rolling the ends to make something more flat. Kind of like that. And that, take your needle. Don't forget this. Wherever I did it, right there. And take your needle, and don't forget to put your holes in it all the way around. Now with this needle being so small, it's going to put really tiny holes, but that's all you need. You need something just to let some of this heat out. And I don't know if you can see the holes in there or not. If you can't, I apologize. But I did go all the way around. That's hot. All the way around. And no, it is not level and perfect. Some holes are down here. Some are up here. You know, just however you can get those holes in. This is putting out a good amount of heat. Anyway, this is, I'm fixing to turn this off. Whew. That is definitely toasty. Once again, if you want to make the can heater, that's up to you. If you have a can, this size or a little bit larger, maybe a coffee can, a small coffee can. You know what I'm talking about? The smaller coffee cans. We do not buy them. We buy the large cans. but maybe a small coffee can would be the right size for you. And then have your can on top. But if you don't have that, and you can get your hands on this, you can build this. It does put out a lot of heat. You can tell it is hard to light with that on there. Let that gas just go, because if not, it'll go poof again. And ever since I loaned my stove out, it literally has been acting up. So that was a pretty bad idea on my part. Alright, let's empty that. There we go. Now when you start it, you can first turn it on high. But remember, you do not want to leave this on high that long. You can see how red it's getting there. You don't want to leave it like this using just foil. You want to get it hot and then turn it down. Oh geez. That's definitely putting out heat here. Make sure this is not underneath something. I can feel the heat up here on our cupboard, our cabinet doors. I can feel the heat up here. Way up here, I feel this heat. I mean, seriously, you do not want this directly underneath something. Now, turn this down. That is way too hot. So, and below minimum is where I generally have this. One, I don't need that much actual heat. Two, I want to save as much of my fuel as possible. Keep going up to where I'm not going to feel heat anymore, and I'm still feeling the heat. Oh geez, I still feel it up here. And I feel it over here on my arm too. And that's what this turned down. Okay, once you heat this up, turn it on high first, heat it up, and then just turn it down, and that'll definitely produce a lot of heat. Oh yeah, that is a lot of heat. Anyway, this is a DIY butane heater number 2. This is something simple you can make at home for emergency heat. Now, do not use this, like I said, every day unless you have to. Keep an eye on this. Do not let children or pets get anywhere near this, because this is so hot. If I took this and threw it in my sink and dumped water on it, this would probably steam like the cans did. So, once again, this is for emergencies. But you can make it at home. It's simple to make, and it puts out a whole lot of heat. And if you do it properly, you're not going to burn through your fuel as quickly. And I mean, geez, I'm starting to sweat here, and I'm like, I'm 2-3 feet away from it, and it's putting out that much heat. And once again, you don't want this to get too hot. Turn that off. That is on way too much. That is too hot. And I'm still feeling heat. I already turned it off, and heat up to here, no problem. Oh geez, I still feel the heat. Okay, simple DIY emergency heater. You can make it home. Remember, if you make one of these, do not forget to punch your holes in it. You want holes in that. You want some of that heat to be able to get out and escape. Remember, this is pretty lightweight. It's nothing but aluminum foil. And that's sticking. There we go. Remember, it's nothing but aluminum foil. So it's not that heavy. And make sure you have some holes in there. You know, just wherever. Alright, this is DIY heater, emergency heater number 2. for the butane stove. You can also use this on a propane stove. But remember, that is going to be super, super hot. And it is not very sturdy. So if you want to move it, be very careful, because it's not going to be very sturdy, because it is nothing but empty aluminum foil on the inside. Basically, it looks like this. So, I mean, if you grab it like that, I mean, it's real easy to just smash your heater, and you don't want to do that. So make sure if you have to move that or want to move that, you let this cool down completely so you can touch it gently to pick it up and move it. Or you will end up having to build you another one, and you will end up running out of foil eventually. Anyway, that's it. I'm fixing to go. I hope this does help somebody out. If you don't have a way or the means to make the can heater or the right size cans, one of these heaters is your next best bet. Just some aluminum foil, a safety pin or a thumbtack, some way to punch some holes in there, some way to make a mold of the shape, and then you basically roll the bottom inward and roll it up and make it more of a flat surface. It's not going to be perfect, but it does sit. I still feel warmth off of there, and this has been off. Now, with it being foil, it will cool down rather quickly compared to, say, like something like this that retains heat a lot longer. But in an emergency situation, if you need heat and you have nothing except for maybe a stove like this, or even a propane stove, 2-burner, single burner, or one of those camp stoves with the windscreen that goes around it, something that would be great, because with that windscreen, all the heat would come up and forward. It couldn't go back or to the sides. Something like that would be wonderful for something like this. But if this is all you have, and you're worried about using a knife to punch this out with, then something like this is your next best bet. And all you need is heavy-duty aluminum foil. Alright, that's it. I'm fixing to go. I hope this helps somebody out. Anyway, if you have any questions or comments, please leave it down in the comments section. And if this does help you out in some way, please share this video so other people can try this at home. And once again, once you try this, as long as your flame is going, even if it's turned down a pretty good amount, it's going to produce heat, because the foil retains heat. Also, when you do your foil, this is one question a lot of people don't talk about when they're talking about foil. When you use your foil, the shiny side, not the dull side, the shiny side goes out. The dull side, right here, the dull side goes inward against your shape, whatever you're using to form it with. You want your dull side in, not your shiny side. Your shiny side faces outward. Alright, that's it. I'm fixing to go. Everyone have a good one. Once again, if this helps you out, if you build one of these at home and try these, and it works for you, please share this so other people will figure this out and try this. And hopefully this helps someone get through a cold spell. That's all. I'm fixing to go. Everyone have a good day. Bye.